take home the hardware since 2017. But this Thunder team, far more than just SGA, right? They boast the league's best defense across the board. Field goal percentage, turnover, transition defense, you name it. Nothing comes easy against this Thunder squad. And that's why odds makers, they have these Thunder, they think they can do them. They think that they can do something that hasn't been done since you, Kendrick Perkins, were in this OKC uniform.
Not KD, not Russ, not James,
but
me.
Kendrick Perkins, and that is make it to the NBA Finals. We're glad we have you here. NBA champ Kendrick Perkins, the one and only Stephen A. Smith, Bob Myers, I'm Malika Andrews. Oklahoma City getting ready to take the floor here against the San Antonio Spurs in just under an hour. Two teams that we expect to run the Western Conference here for quite some time when you look at the generational talent they have in the building. But the Thunder, they've shown they're ready to win right now, Stephen A. Why is that?
Because they've got a superstar in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading the league in scoring with over 32 a game, and they've got a top-ranked defense. I need everybody to sit back and pause while I read these statistics to you, okay? The Oklahoma City Thunder is first in defensive efficiency, field goal percentage defense, three-point percentage defense, steals per game, turnovers forced per game, points off turnovers per game, deflections per game, loose balls recovered per game, charges drawn per game. Number one in every single one of those categories. You talk about winning a championship. That's what you got to do. Now, I don't like the fact that Jalen Williams, averaging 21 points a game, second on the team in his offense scoring-wise, has dropped 7 points in his field goal percentage shooting, dropped to 35% shooting from three-point range. I don't like that. I have concerns about the pieces around SGA in that regard showing up in the postseason. But, my God, all of those statistics that I just dropped, number one in every single category, there's no excuse for them not to win. That much I can say.
No excuse for them not to win.
Well, win what? The championship?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, look, I was going to hit it from a different angle, which was what is the issue with them? Because if you look at the numbers, fifth in offense, best in defense, it's not even close. Best in net rating, which is point differential on the wins for the season. Are we holding back? I mean, maybe you're not. You just said you just said there's no reason why they shouldn't, but you think they will. I guess, do you think they will?
I think they could go to the finals and lose to Boston.
Right. So my thing is, and that's what a lot of people, I think, why don't we think they're more than that?
Because of their bench. I mean, because of their collection around SGA, not even their bench, the collection around SGA.
I was going to say their youth.
That's what I was going to say. I'm just going to say we have this bias of if you haven't done it, you can't do it. I think, unfairly or not, maybe you don't. A lot of people watching would say, well, Boston's already done it. Prior to Denver winning it, I don't know that we thought they could win it. Prior to the Warriors, I know in 15, nobody thought that was coming. Even Giannis, they can't get there. And then once you do, we think you're going to keep doing it, right? It's always the team that won the championship that we think will win it again, barring major change. I think this Oklahoma City team, thinking about it, we do give them a lot of credit, but maybe not enough. Maybe not enough. Because they got the MVP front runner, too. What?
Listen,
huh?
They may be young, but they have old souls, right? The way that they play, they check all boxes. Everything that you want in a championship team, they have that. They have a superstar that could be the best player against any other player in the 7-game series. They have a number 2 option, and they have a number 3 option. You dove into Jalen Williams. He's not their number 2. Chet Holmgren is their number 2. He just happened to get injured. But if you see his last game, 22 and 17, those are the numbers that I expect out of Chet Holmgren. They have the shooting, and every single person on that team slide their puppies. And when you go into the depth of their roster, you may look up and a guy named Aaron Wiggins might light you up for 40. He did it this year, okay? And then you look again and you say, well, damn, what else do they have? And then all of a sudden the kid Wallace come in and he has an impact on the game. We talk about a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein, rightfully so, a guy like Alex Caruso, who they both picked up in the offseason. Yeah. But guess what? We haven't even sung their name, especially Caruso, that much, because that's how deep this team is.
Well, we're talking about their collection, the collective parts that they have that play defense, and the phrase is, you may be young, but you're ready. You understand what I'm saying? Talk to Keith Sweat about that. I'm shocked I had to tell you that. You may be young, but you're ready. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say to you. And don't interrupt me on that. You may be young, but you're ready. You can go with that. Keith Sweat, okay? Having said all of that, the month of February, they're the number 1 offensive team as well. They average 127 points a game. So everything that the Oklahoma City Thunder is showing you says to you they're ready to take the next step. It's just that we look at Boston and we know they've already done it.
So the one thing I would say is all of us were in Las Vegas for the NBA Cup final, and we saw Oklahoma City Thunder. We were ready to sort of see them take that next step. It's the biggest stage they've been on, and the Milwaukee Bucks, a more proven team, came in and said, well, hang on, young fellas, let's just show what we've got here.
Yeah, but Malika, I'm not taking anything away from the Bucks, but they didn't have Chet Holmgren.
Absolutely.
That matters.
Any sort of defense, they can run. That's the thing, is there are so many options that this Oklahoma City Thunder team has. But championship or not, it feels like this is just the beginning for OKC Wolves in the second game of our doubleheader here on ESPN. The Suns, they started off the season strong, but they faded significantly since, especially over the last month. They've gone 3-10 since the beginning of February, and they've ranked last in defense during that stretch as well. As we welcome in Shams Charania to our set, all five of us were sitting at Intuit Dome right on opening night talking about the Suns as this inner circle contending team. But fast forward 5 months, it seems like anything but. Shams, what's at stake here for the Phoenix Suns over the final stretch of the season?
Malika, the stakes are high. Unless there's a significant run here into the playoffs for the Phoenix Suns, league sources believe that there will be real changes in Phoenix coming to the Suns. And from a roster standpoint, that likely starts with Kevin Durant. And when we look back to the trade deadline, if we remember, Kevin Durant was blindsided when he was involved in trade conversations. But this offseason, from my understanding, what it would look like is the Suns and Durant would work together on any potential trade to a contender in a trade scenario. And I would expect 4 to 6 contending teams with some serious involvement in Durant. He's still playing at a really high level. He is extension eligible in the offseason, too. And as we know, with the Jimmy Butler situation, the extension plays a big factor. But everything with Durant hangs in the balance of not only the Suns and how they compete in the playoffs or not compete in the playoffs, but other teams, which teams get eliminated early, what teams could come about. A lot will come clear with Kevin Durant when we figure out what shapes up in the playoffs.
Let me ask you guys a question, just knee-jerk reaction. How many years has Devin Booker been in the league? Take a guess. I'm not trying to trip anybody up.
That's a great question. 8?
10.
10 years.
10. I was
10.
8.
More than you think, right? So Devin Booker is the central piece. And if they trade Durant, you're probably getting back picks and some youth, right? So now Devin Booker's going into his 11th year, 12th year. This is a guy that's been in the league 10 years. They did go to the finals. I thought when the Suns went to the finals that year, Booker was going to be a top 5 player. That's what I thought. And now we're sitting here going, are they going to go through some kind of rebuild if things don't go well?
Well,
and that's going to be tough. It's
let me
hard.
say this. You got to look at Phoenix management, meaning ownership, and some of the moves that they've made, coaching-wise, along with, player movement and what have you. You got to look at that. But here's what I was thinking about, because this is where I was going to go when you brought up Devin Booker, because I was going to bring him up. They never think about moving him. Fine. He's 28 years of age. He's averaged at least 25.5 points the last 7 years. I'm wondering when Devin Booker